this camera right. So today, excuse me, of course, right off the bat, I have a frog in my throat. So today what we're going to do is a hopefully not too long get ready with me. As soon as I get this camera at the right place. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the Sigma Beauty sale, which is going on until April 30th. And I'm going to give you the real skinny of my favorite products and things that I don't think are worth bothering with. So let's jump right into this. I was going to put on like my base and my eyebrows and everything, and then I thought, nah, I'll just do the whole thing on here. Now, Sigma Beauty doesn't make everything, so I'm actually going to start out with a primer for my face, and then I'm going to follow it up with a new foundation that I have that I've used a few times and I really like. So my mirror's over here, so I'm primarily going to look over here. I wear glasses, so if I missed your comment, I will read it later. So please definitely say hi when you come in. So I'm going to use the Makeup Primer Spray. This is the Oil Control by Scandinavia. I've got some of the products tagged in the video. You should see something on the screen that says view products or a picture of products or something. There are some of the products in there. This is one of them. And then I've got the discount code link. I've got the discount link for Sigma Beauty in the description, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you that now, just so you don't miss it, because 40% off is a big deal. So if you're wanting to replenish any supplies or you're just wanting to try something new, it's a great time. Definitely want to get it on sale. So it's just www.sigmabeauty.com/my name Camille, Camille. So, and that's going on until the 30th. So I'm just going to apply this primer mostly to the center of my face where I get really oily. I like this one a lot because it kind of closes up the pores on my nose and makes things go on nice and smooth. I feel like I have cat hair on my face. Any cat owners, any dog owners? I've got both. So, and we used to have birds too. So I like furry creatures. And my husband and I always have these conversations about the animals and, how sometimes, especially certain times of the day, they can really be a pain in the butt. Hi, Embellish Beauty. The sponge is actually in that link on the video. It should say view products, but if you don't see it, it's only available in the US. This one is by Stands Out. And I actually have a discount link to that. If you message me later, I will give that to you. But it's a Stands Out sponge. You can use it wet or dry. And even though mine looks terribly dirty, they get stained and they change colors. But one of the best makeup sponges ever. And one of them lasts me probably 6 months. And I use it every day, in and out. And I'm always spraying things on it. So, you've got a full breed Egyptian cat. I bet that's beautiful. Oh, yeah. Cat ears. I have to have my cat ears. First of all, it holds my crazy, oh, you're welcome, holds my crazy hair out. So I'm going to use this Laura Geller. This is called the Baked Balance and Brighten in Medium. Baked Balance and Brighten in Medium. So it's very interesting. It's got color correcting kind of technology in there. And I like it. I like it for if you're one of those people that maybe just wants to get ready really fast, or God forbid you have to do it in the car on your way to work or somewhere, or you just have an online meeting. A lot of us are still doing those Zoom calls and Zoom meetings, and you just want to get, airbrushed looking really fast. I think it's a really great way to do that. Of course, I keep it away from my eyes because I've got dry skin. So it comes with this little brush. I don't really care for the brush. It's okay, but it's not my favorite. So I'm going to use this all-purpose multitasker. This is one by Sigma Beauty. And I like the Sigma Beauty brushes, but I'm going to be honest. I'm one of those weirdos that this sounds really strange. And I know this is very old school, but I'm one of those weirdos that I want to save my best things for another time. Don't ask me why. And so I don't use them as often as what I probably should. I end up using my cheaper brushes by Do Care, which I dearly love. But the Sigma brushes are really, really nice. Okay, now I'm hoping you can see this because on my end, I just totally added life to my face right there. Let's just do kind of half my face. I'm hoping you can see this. Just kind of buff it on. You don't have to have anything perfect. I'm going to go over my eyebrow because I'm going to be adding eyebrow makeup, and I'm going to blend it into my ear and slightly down because I don't want to have a line of demarcation. And I also want to add a little color on my neck. I have this problem, you know, when it gets to be spring and summertime, I'm so white, and I really do want to add a little color to myself, but I don't want to be out in the sun. So this is what I do. Can you see the difference? I mean, it really has a nice coverage. And I'm going to look at this up close here in a minute. I used to want to take my Saint cream makeup with me when I was in a hurry because I could literally drive down the road. I didn't even have to look in the mirror to apply it. So I could just buff it all over my face, and by the time I got to my mom's house, you know, come on, I know where my blush goes by now. I could have almost everything on and then just have a couple of little things to tweak. And now I'm leaning toward foundations like this. That looks beautiful up close. Like, it's really gorgeous. I don't know how it's coming across for you. The only thing that I don't really like is that I can't get it into all those pores on my nose as well as I want to, even with the primer that I used, which normally takes care of that problem. In fact, that's making that look worse. So here's what I'm going to do. If you have problems like I'm having right there, where it's basically showing more of my pores now, I'm just going to take that primer again, or you can do this with a setting spray as well. And I'm going to apply that there. It's going to soften the makeup. And, well, primers can do two things, especially a liquid primer like this. It can hold your makeup in place, but it can also remove part of it and help blend it. So now that that situation is over, what I'm going to do is use my really El Cheapo. I love the way this looks on my nose. This is my Catrice HD. It's one of my favorite things for foundation ever. And I'm just taking a little bit, and then I'm going to take where I had that primer just for extra stick-to-itiveness and just apply it there. And of course, I've been picking at my nose. Of course, I've been picking at my nose, so it's got to look all red and blotchy. Okay, so that is a lot better. And C. Marie says, I never thought about adding the makeup on my ear like that. Very smart. Yeah, especially, you know, if you have short hair, because you can also kind of get a disconnect there as well. So I'm going to use a little bit of my Laura Mercier. This is their new one. It is the translucent, and this is the Ultra Blur. The Ultra Blur, which is a setting. It's kind of a setting and finishing powder in one. Blurs out pores and fine lines. You know, blurring is good, and it sets the makeup in place and makes it look more flawless. Now, even though I've picked at my nose and done all kinds of weird stuff before I went live, it looks a lot better. I'm not going to stress out over the tiny little things there that only probably I can see. All right, now we're going to head on to two things I want to tell you about Laura Geller. I absolutely, I feel like her makeup is hit or miss with me. I absolutely love that foundation, but when I use their blush, and the blush is gorgeous. It's so pretty. Like, I just want to stick it on my face, right? But it's got a little bit of shimmer, and it doesn't ever really look bad to me in person, but when I see it in a video, I'm like, oh, why did I do that? On the other hand, they've got this gorgeous, this is called French Vanilla, and it's a baked highlighter. And that is the most magnificent stuff. Let me show you, even if it will show up. Okay, there it is on my finger. I'm only going to place this in a couple of strategic areas, or it's going to look ridiculous. But if I just use it as a little bit of a highlight right there, it's gorgeous. Doesn't make wrinkles show up, and I'll probably end up using it under my eyebrows later. I'm going to go ahead and put it there as a reminder. I can actually highlight above my cheekbone with it too. And it doesn't seem to, it's just so light. And it's like the most finely milled highlighter I've probably ever tried. I mean, it's just gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, but I'm not coming anywhere near the center of my face except for right up here where I want to highlight to draw attention to my eyes. All right, so enough about Laura Geller. It's good stuff, but I'm just want to be really, really real in case you were ever wondering about any of this stuff. Okay, let's move on. Sigma Beauty. Having that 40% sale. They have some gorgeous, gorgeous things, and I'm going to get into a couple of my favorites. And then I'll talk about some things that maybe aren't worth the money. In fact, before my lips dry out, I'm going to go ahead and use one of their little lippies. This one, I swear, if they make the writing any smaller, we're all going to go blind. This is something adventure. It's so small. That's my number one complaint. Instead of putting a giant, and I don't want to complain, but I'm going to, instead of putting a giant Beauty and the Beast on here, like they could have just put a giant name of this or a giant number. I mean, that would have been so much more helpful, because who really gives a crap about, I mean, you know, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. Is it just me? Hey, Melinda. So whatever that mystery color is, it's nice. It's really nice. It's thin. They don't get sticky. They're gorgeous. You know, pop them in your purse. A little bit of shine. Great color. Whatever the mystery color is. I can't see it. And then we're going to move on to, blush. My blush palette that I have from Sigma. And also, most of this stuff has been gifted to me. So you need to know that. So this is gorgeous because it's got a lot of everything I need. It's got the warm colors and the cool colors. And not everybody is strictly one or the other. Sometimes we have to mix it up to look good. So, or look right. So I'm actually going to, and I think these are all mattes too. I want to make sure before I open my mouth. Okay, 2 of them are shimmers. The 2 in the corner are shimmers. So I'm going to avoid those because I'm not interested in the shimmers today. So I'm actually going to use a little bit of this color right on the apple of my cheek. It looks a little dark, but that's okay. Right on the apples. And I tend to go toward the top of the apples of my cheek, and here's why. Because, okay, here's the apple of my cheek. This whole thing, right? So here I've brought it down a little bit too low. But when you smile, you kind of want it toward the top of the apple, because if you stick it in the middle, then your face falls when you're not smiling, and then you've got your blush down here like I do. So just be aware that that can be an issue. Blend that a little bit. I tend to put the two colors on for me, kind of an orangey color. I'm just going to blend that. I tend to use an orangey color and then a pink color. So I'm going to try that pink color right there. And that tends to be more peachy for me then. And I'm going to just go ahead, even though I put the highlighter in my nose, I like to go ahead and take that over my nose to just sort of give me a normal sort of the sun was here and hit my face a little bit look. Just a little bit. And I have a bulbous nose, so I'm going to hit that too. And I'm going to dance a little bit of the mixture of the colors up here. Of course, you don't have to use the sponge. You can use brush, whatever makes you happy. Okay, so that's one of my favorites. This palette here, gorgeous, worth whatever it costs, it's worth it. It's going to last forever. 40% off of whatever the price is probably going to be pretty good. All right, next favorite is the Sigma Sculpt Highlight and Contour Palette. This is just like the other one. It has the cooler tones and the warmer tones in it. So you can mix and match it to a beautiful oblivion. One side has got the shimmers and the other side has got the mattes. So again, once you buy one of these, you don't ever have to buy another palette for a long, long time. So I'm just mixing the two lighter colors here back and forth. And this is just going to go right on top of my cheekbone. Sometimes I look a little funny until I'm done. So if I start looking like a clown, don't worry. It all comes together. And I'm going to hit right up here. I'm going to work that into my hairline. Right up here where I'm definitely thinning. But see how much better it looks when I just get it all up in there. It doesn't look like I have that little white mark. It just looks like, I've been out in the sun, having some fun. Which I don't mind being out in the sun, but I'm covered in sunscreen head to toe. All right. Now those are some rosy cheeks. I might have to tone that down a little bit, but I'm going to wait because, as I said, things tend to come together. A little bit more of that contour just on my nose to make that look like, ooh, I just arrived and I am this color naturally. All right, you believe that? I've got something else to sell you. All right, so those are two favorites. Let me show you these other blushes that I have. This one is a highlighter. Highlighter, nice highlighter. If you like highlighters, I mean, it is super highlighty. That is not going on this face because if I put it on, it's going to just highlight every pore that I have. So I tend to stay away from highlighters. This is a favorite right here. This is a matte bronzer, and this is in the medium color. So if you just want to buy one and you don't want to get a whole palette, you know, something like that. That 40% off link is, and there's an individual blush. This one's in Berry Love. That's kind of my color, but I also need a little bit of orangey. Just show you next to me. Hi, Marky. And so those are definitely some of my favorites, and my least favorites are also some of my favorites. Yesterday, I had the Wicked Eyeliner pencil. I'm sorry. There's a pen and a pencil. And it just really stumped me. Like, I couldn't figure out how to sharpen that thing. I was sharpening the heck out of it with my sharpener, and I ruined it. And then I realized you're not supposed to sharpen it. You're supposed to twist it up. And then there's a little sharpener in the bottom that you can sharpen the tip with. So if you have one of those, don't ruin yours like I've ruined mine. Hello from Canada. Love that color. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's go ahead and do some eyebrows. And that way, when I do the rest of my makeup, it's going to make sense. This is another one of my favorites. This is the Sigma Beauty Renew Lip Oil. They actually printed that big enough to where we can actually see it. And it's just this beautiful, beautiful kind of pinky lip gloss. I love lip gloss, especially on older women. I love lip gloss on everybody, okay? Lip gloss, even if you have really thin lips, thinner than mine, lip gloss just has that beautiful shine, and it catches the attention of the lips and magnifies them and makes them kind of show up. If you have super thin lips, you definitely want to go for a light color, even lighter than this one. Let's see if I can actually see what color this is. This one is called Tranquil. They actually printed it big enough. Okay, so that's my biggest grump about them, is that they don't print the names of the colors big enough. Come on now. All right. This is the first thing I ever used of Sigma Beauty. This is their eyeshadow. Their eyeshadows are amazing. So we're going to do a quick look with that. But first, we're going to do some brows. And I'm going to have to shut up. Thank you, Glock Up. Glock Up says, I have some nice... Whoops. The comment went away. They must not mean that. All right. So I'm going to use my Brow Trio brow stamp. And I'm going to have to shut up for a minute so I can get this done right. So this is the pomade. And then this is the eyebrow stamp I'm going to use. And I'm just going to put this on really quickly. Dropping things on the floor. I'm going to use one of my eyeshadow brushes to do this. And just going to get a little bit of that pomade on there. Just lightly, right? It's just light. Take a little bit at a time until I get this how I want it. And I've got to look in my 10X mirror over here on the side. Line it up. And then just kind of dust it on there. I'm going to dip for a little bit more. I want it to be a little bit darker on the end than toward the center. I'm not going to do a big brow. I'm just going to do a little skinny brow. And pretty natural looking. A little bit more natural looking than what I wanted, but that's okay. Just wipe off the stencil and then use it on the other side. These normally come with a little sponge dabber, but the dabbers wear out, and when I was washing mine, it actually, the little ball fell off. So, but I like using the brush as well. Just make sure your brush is clean before starting if you're going to try this. Or you could end up with a blue or green, some strange color eyebrows. I've done that too. But I did try to prepare last night by washing all my brushes. You know, if you're ever having trouble with your makeup, one of the things that you always want to look at is your brushes. Check and see if they are clean, especially when you're doing things like concealer and things that get thick really easily. Absolutely. I'm going to go over this one more time. Just going to line it up and make it a little bit darker. That's always an option. You can always go back and add a little bit more. And I like the brow kits from the Brow Trio, but I also like them from iMethod Beauty. Both of those kits are really nice. Those are relatively even, And I'm just going to leave that alone now. Not going to touch that again. Okay. All right, so now let's get into this eyeshadow. So let's see. I'm going to actually start with this medium tapered blending brush. And I don't always use the right brush for the right thing. So if you're looking for someone who will tell you exactly what to do, exactly how to do it, I'm definitely not your girl, because I am going to do it however I want and whatever I think is going to be the best way for me and for you. Let me just grab an eye primer. I'm just going to use this Revlon. This is the Revlon Color Stay. And I just put a little bit there on my hand. Now, if you're ever having difficulty with your makeup running in your eyes or things moving around, try an eye primer. They'll hold things in place better. I like the one by Urban Decay. I think this is very similar though, and I think it's a couple of dollars cheaper. I really see no difference. I see no difference in how it acts. And the other one is called Anti-Aging, and this is just called Revlon Color Stay. So we're going to give that a moment to dry down. And I usually use my little fan. I'm a fan of having these little fans that just kind of help your makeup products dry down a little faster. I especially use these when I'm doing my skincare and I want each layer to dry really quickly. It helps. So that ought to be long enough. Usually you just have to wait a moment. So if you're having trouble with anything, any of your makeup, or curious about anything, definitely pop a question in for me. I'm old, get over it. Okay. So hi from Boston and 1979 ACR. Hey. Hi from Germany, Sandra. So yeah, definitely tell me where you're from and say hello. All right, so let's go ahead and start with this eyeshadow. And what I'm going to do is start with this light color up here. Should not be a shimmer, should be a matte. It's a matte. I always want to start with a light matte. I'm just going to fill my brush up and then kind of tap off the excess. I'm going to go all over. Thanks for joining me today. Is everybody at work or are you retired? By the way, if somebody rude gets in here, just ignore them. We don't care. We don't care if you're rude. Good morning from California. Hi from Maryland. Norris Dog Edit says, you're so pretty, you look so good. Thank you. Work at lunch. Okay. There's my working girls. Working 9 to 5. Or whatever you're working. It may not be 9 to 5. Boy, I remember working a day job. Now I work a day and a night job. And a midday job. Start a YouTube channel, they say. No, it's definitely fun. I'm doing what I want to do here, and this is amazing. Let me tilt that just a little bit. All right. So now that I've got that one color on, I'm just going to keep this really, really simple. I'm going to take a medium color. Let's see. I want to avoid shimmers. Not a shimmer. I'm going to go for this color right here. And I'm probably just going to use the same brush for the whole thing. Just tap her in. Woo! I'm going to do the same thing very sloppily on both. And then I'll blend. Let me get the same color. Now for me, I've got hooded eyes, so I need the color to come up high enough to where it can be seen. And so that's why mine is up here. Because I have hardly any real estate on my movable lid here. So it's mostly just got to be up here in the sky, which is much too high for most people. Now I'm going to get a clean brush and blend this. And of course, my big blending brush has fallen on the floor. So we're going to find something else here. Find something else. I think I'm going to use this one here. All right, this is not a Sigma Beauty one. This is actually a Morphe brush, but my Sigma dropped on the floor into oblivion. Just going to blend that. See if I can. There, I dropped another one. Okay. Tone down the blush. It's too loud. Well, it might be too loud for you, but it may not be too loud for me. So thank you. And you know what? That's the thing, is that my looks all come together at the last moment. So if you want to say that when I'm done, go ahead, but you should hold off. Hold off. And the real test is when I go outside, because this will look completely different in the regular sunlight. The beautiful daylight, it will look completely different. But thanks for your suggestion. I sure appreciate that. I do appreciate your comments. I do. That doesn't mean we're going to agree on everything, though. We may not agree on everything, and that's okay. Okay, thanks for saying I have a pretty smile. Yes, I have a cat. I love my ears because I love my ears. I don't even have to have a cat to love my ears. I just think they're cute. I have a whole drawer full of these. Cat ears, I love them. So, is it really bothering somebody that much that I have cat ears? Oh, good. Oh, thanks, Melinda. You know I love you. All right, let's go ahead and add a darker color. Now that I've got this giant brush, I'm going to stick with it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab this color here. All right, now this is going to go deep in here, and it's going to make a pretend crease, since I don't have a crease. So I'll stick it right in there. See how I kind of made a pretend crease? Right there. Right there where I want it. Sigma really does have great eyeshadow. They're very blendable. Definitely one of my favorites, if not the favorite. Well, Jane Iredale, wow. And Jane Iredale and Bare Minerals. Oh my gosh. Bare Minerals has really upped its game. I had no idea that they actually made skincare and that it's good. We're going to do a whole nother live on that. Bare Minerals is the bomb. Blend that out. I'm going shopping today with my mom, so I'm excited to see her. I'm just cleaning my brush off in between. I think what we should say to those people who are like, get over it, you're old, is get over it, you're going to be old. If you're lucky. If you're lucky, you'll get to be old one day. Now, I don't know about you guys. You girls. My life is so much better since I'm older. I mean, it really is. My life You know, when I hit 50, so much better. So much better. I just feel like, you know, everything kind of fell into place. I'm going to grab a little bit of that shimmer. It's shimmer time. And for me, this is just going to go right here where it shows up the most. Right there on my movable lid. That's it. And I don't have to really worry about blending maybe like some other eye shapes would up top, because it's all just going to mostly sink back in and nobody's going to see it. So I'm not going for a precision look today. Just going to tap that pretty shimmer right there. So yeah, if you're lucky enough, you'll get to be my age or older. And it is a privilege, and your life does get better. So if any young people are listening, your life is probably pretty sucky if you're young. And, you know, everybody's is at some point when you're young. It's just hard to figure out how to solve problems in your life. And then once you get it down, it's pretty much smooth sailing, or smoother sailing. I'll say that. Does anybody agree with me, or you think I'm wrong? Am I wrong? I don't mind being wrong. That's my experience anyway. Now I'm going to go ahead and use this cream color corrector under my eyes. Just going to use my little brush here, a little smudgy brush. And if I can find my glasses, I'm going to see what the comments are. And now, can you believe it? I'm going to have to get my other pair of glasses. They're probably on my head. Are my glasses on my head? No. Where the heck are my glasses? Lord have mercy. All right, here's my spare. I guess I dropped those on the floor too. You like your silver undyed hair? Yes, absolutely. It's gorgeous too. I'm giving you hope, Nana. I'm so glad. Because you got a good husband. Oh, I do have a good husband. Oh, thank you, Melinda, for saying that I have a good eyeshadow look. Linda says, that's me. The older you get, the less of a people pleaser you become. Yes, you're right, Camille. Thank you. Thank you, gorgeous. So, yeah, I think once you establish yourself as who you really are, because I think who you really are comes and goes, you know. First, you're, you know, the daughter or the son of your parents, and then you're, you know, maybe you're your own self for a little while, figuring out who you are, and then you become a mom or a wife, or, you know, all the above. And then when all that's over, you're like, okay, back to me again. And I think that is what is freeing about, you know, getting a little older. It doesn't have to be 50, but for me, it was around 50. It might have been slightly before 50. I don't know. So I'm just going to let that sit there and warm up because it's cream makeup. I'm going to hit this. I'm going to actually sort of draw a line down to help straighten out my nose a little bit. Bring that highlight down into that crease there to try and fill it out. Make it look a little more plump. I've been using my zip on this part right here to see if that's going to help a little bit, help that not, you know, indent so badly. So we'll see. We shall see. I haven't been using it long enough really to have any long-term results. So I'm just going to let that sit there, and then I'm going to also bring a little highlight here. Just remember those light colors. Light brings things forward, and dark brings them back. So I'm going to highlight my chin a little bit. Now, once it's warm, then I can go in and blend because I'm looking quite silly right now. Let me check out some comments here. Yeah. So, agreed. L Manchego says, agreed 100%. My go-to comment for negative comments is, thank you for sharing. Yes. I like to shut those down immediately. Love your makeup videos. Thank you. All right, look, it's Mickey says, I agree with you to a certain extent. Getting older is great because you just get wiser with time just because what life throws your way. I don't have my life together and I'm 35, so I'm scared to see. If you're 35, wow. If I look back at my life when I was 35, I was so not together. I mean, I think at that point, honestly, I was a little scared too. So it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be scared. Just know that you can, whatever is going on, you can turn it around. You really, really can. So don't be scared. You can do it. Sam Colby Lover says, my makeup is amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. So now that I have this on here, it's all nice and warm. I'm just going to blend because that's a cream that I just put on. Yes, I put the cream over the foundation. All right. I'm not ambidextrous, so I'm just going to use one. I'm just going to bring the brightness to the center of the face, and then sometimes fingers are the best thing to use for blending. Now, if you've got a really thin face, I've got a very full face. If you've got a really thin face, you want to make sure that you're not putting a dark color here at the temples. So blend that color up into the temple. Otherwise, it can make you look a little skeletal. We don't want to look skeletal. So I'm just going to blend this out. Sometimes just using a dry, clean finger is the best way to do this right around the eyes. Just blend it out. I'm going to blend it down a little bit. Try to pat instead of swiping. I know it's tempting to swipe. I do it too sometimes. Okay, and then when we get out here, so I've got those hooded eyes. They're downturned on the side. So take that little bit that's left on your finger and just blend it over to soften it. When you get older, everything's about softening things. It doesn't mean you can't do dramatic looks. It just means soften it up a little bit. Soften your edges. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit of my Scandinavia. This is the bridal spray. This is just what I'm grabbing, okay? I'm going to put a little bit on that sponge. This does two things. This will set your makeup, but it will also remove excess makeup. So you have to be careful and experiment with it both ways. But this does need to be toned down just a little bit because I know it looks okay right here with all my bright lights on me. But when I walk outside, I'm going to be like, ah! So I'm just going to blend. See how much lighter? I mean, it just... Now, you don't want to swipe. If you're going to do this method, don't swipe. Otherwise, it's just going to end up looking really bad. So, all right. So, magical stuff here. This stuff, if you spray it on your face when you are finished. Now, I've taken a little bit too much off here. When you spray it on your face, when your makeup's finished, it will take the layers of makeup that you've put on and meld them together and then hold everything in place. So it's magical stuff. It doesn't dry me out. Now I've taken a little too much off. It's okay. I'd rather have a little too less than too much. Let's see. Where's my stuff? All right. Now, before I lose my glasses again, let me see what we have to say here. Janice says, you really don't have wrinkles. I really do. I really do have wrinkles. Not that I want to start an argument argument about this, and thank you. But see, when I smile, you can see I have wrinkles. When my face is relaxed, I don't, they don't show as much, but I do have, like a permanent one up here. I have a thick one right there, but I work at it. I work at it to try and make it better. But thank you so much. Terry says, love watching you and wish you had an instruction book with your techniques because you're the best. Thank you, Terry. I'm actually working on something like that. So fast forward maybe 6 months because it takes me a long time to get anything done, it seems like. Thank you so much, Terry. So Melinda says, do you prefer the sponge over the foundation brush? It really just depends because I use the sponge a lot for blending. The foundation brush I love. Let me share with you the one that I really love. And it's super cheap. Super, super cheap. It's this one by Do Care. Again, I have my really nice Sigma brushes that are on sale. And I'm using my cheap $9 Do Care brush. Okay, that's just me. All right, so this is just a delight to apply foundation with. It's super, super dense. It's very, very soft. And when I'm using liquid foundations, I'm definitely using something like this half the time. With me, it's just, I don't know. Some days, it's whatever I feel like. I'm in between the two, but I use this a lot for blending and for applying blush and things like that. So I hope that answered your question. The lip gloss is actually the Sigma. It's the Sigma, and these are 40% on sale too right now. Let me see if I can read that color again. Sigma, it is the Tranquil. The Tranquil. They're 40% off with the link, and it's www.sigmabeauty.com/Camille, Camille. And that will get you 40% off at checkout until the 30th of April. So, Sean, I hope I'm not saying that wrong. Sean Pinar. That is a really neat name. Says, I can't do makeup. You know what? When I started, I couldn't do makeup either. So, no worries. You can learn easily, step by step. And there's tons of videos on my channel. Check them out. Just sit down and binge watch some sometime. There's a little bit of everything there. Let's see. Should I use, let's see. Oops, all right. Alabasa Perry, I just was about to answer your question and you deleted it. So, all right, Melinda, I'm glad that helped. All right, if I missed your question, I'm sorry. I apologize. I can't see without glasses on, so let's go ahead and finish this up. I am going to use a little bit of eyeliner today. I'm not a huge eyeliner fan. Actually, no. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up with what I normally do, which is I'm going to use a little smudgy brush, and I'm just going to take a light color that I already used. Actually, I'm going to take that color right there. I'm going to put a little bit right here in the corner just to give a little lifted look. I'll come back and blend that if it's gone over too far. And then I'm going to work off the excess here. I'm just going to try it here and work off the excess right there until I get it to where I think it's soft enough. I'm going to go under my eyes a little bit. I just looked at my 10x mirror and saw I had something weird there. Something weird there. Now, I'm so happy you guys stopped by to hang out with me today. This has been a lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, now I am going to take this. Ooh, I'm going to grab a clean brush. Just an eyeshadow brush, right? And then I'm really going to okay, have you guys ever seen those beautiful Indian women that have like they have naturally dark circles under their eyes. And I've seen videos where, they're trying to cover it up. I think it's beautiful. I think if I had that around my eyes, I would just be like, I'm just going to put a little bit of, concealer down here, and I'm going to leave that as a beautiful way to frame my eyes. And I think they're gorgeous because their skin is almost black, and then they have that little darkness around their eyes, and it's just, I'm trying to get that look, right? I'm trying to get that look, and they've got it naturally and trying to cover it. I mean, I guess that's just life. People we're always, thinking the grass is greener on the other side. And I've started to just go ahead and bring that all the way in. You may not be able to bring it all the way in for your eye shape, but I actually like that. Actually really like that. So let's do some mascara and get out of here. What do you think? I'm going to do a little bit more lip gloss. I'm a lip gloss fanatic. Love it. And my lips are always dry. I feel like I'm always dry. All right, let's curl some lashes. Curl some lashes, and I'm dropping more stuff. I never drop stuff. And then I get on here live and I drop everything. Okay. Ricardo, hi. Hola. Okay, Linda says, I learned this liner trick from you. I love doing it because it's so much softer with crepey lids. It sure is. I appreciate you. Thank you. It sure is. I've learned a lot about how to manage crepey lids myself. For me, and then for you. I always learn it for me first. Sometimes I learn it for you first. That's the truth. So with my lashes, my lashes they're okay. They're not bad, but they're short. So I have to hold it, hold that curl as close to the lash line as possible. And then what I'm typically doing, even though this is supposed to give you more of a curl than a crimp, I'm typically doing this 3 times. I'm doing it near the tip. And then I'm doing it in the middle. Just trying to get all those lashes in there. And I usually try to hold it as long as I can, but my eyes are dry now that I'm older. And I can't hold it open that long. And then again, I'll go back and I'll just get as close to the lash line as possible without hurting myself. And then just give it a long crimp. And then as soon as I am done with that, I'm going to hit it with the mascara. Today I'm going to use this Tarte mascara, and I'll tell you the name of it, but let me get it on first, because before that falls, I really need to get in here. This stuff gets thick really, really quickly, so you have to work quickly and don't dip back in, or you'll have the biggest blob ever. But if you do it just right, it gives really gorgeous lashes. The only thing is that it's a tubing mascara. It's supposed to not smudge. But I'm telling you what, I had a good cry the other day. Several days in a row, really. I don't know what happened to me. I got all emo. And I just couldn't get out of it. Just, I'm not a depressed person. I'm a high energy, non-depressed person, because if I start feeling like I'm getting a little down for something, it's usually like my diet, I'm not getting any exercise, something really simple, and I will start taking my, I've got mushrooms, not the psychedelic kind, but I take like reishi and things like that. And it kind of lifts my mood long enough for me to get over whatever my issue is. But I just couldn't get over whatever it was. And I'm not the type of person to just cry at the drop of a hat. I swear I could have seen like a bunny out in the yard and thought, oh my gosh, it's gonna get eaten. Oh, that was so bad. Now, I don't recommend doing your lashes on the bottom after doing the top, but that's the way I just did it. It's like what my grandmother used to say, do as I say, not as I do. That might be a Catholic thing. I don't know. An old Catholic thing. But I do like to get my bottom lashes just a little bit. Put my binoculars on so I can see. Okay. I don't think I can hit the translate button, but I don't know Uzbekistan. I'm sorry, no. But hi. Hi. Okay. So let's go ahead and do the other one. Oh, let me tell you what this is first. Normally it looks so much better. I can really get some tall lashes with this. This is the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. It's probably like $30. Something ridiculous. Have you noticed that any really, really nice mascaras seem to be really ridiculously high? That is, that's definitely what I'm seeing. I'm going to see if I can actually show you on this one, if I can do it right. You don't have to wiggle this at the base because there's so much on the wand and it's so thick that it just instantly gives you that big, I don't want to say blob, but it gives you that big amount right there at the base. And for me, this is really, really thickening because I just don't have voluminous lashes. And I'm not going to go too big because I don't want to look any different on the other side, but it's much, much better when you're not talking on a live. So I don't want to look all crooked. All right, so one last time, I'll tell you about the Sigma sale and my favorite things. So if you need to replenish or you need to try something, honestly, guys, unless you're in love with Sigma brushes, I just wouldn't spend the money on them. I know I'm probably not supposed to say that, but as an affiliate, I definitely am not supposed to say that. I just wouldn't. I would save my money. They're beautiful brushes, but I can recommend brushes that are just from a better price point. So I'm trying to be real. The things that I do think are worth it and definitely I would buy are their eyeshadow. These eyeshadows are amazing. Their blush, all their blush. Just make sure that you're getting matte blush. It will say that. And their contour powders. Those are my favorite things. I can't even think of anybody that has anything better. I know that there are some other products that are as good, but those are my absolute favorites. And so, and of course their lip oil. Their lip oil is really nice. I love that. And if it makes sense to buy it for you, then, you know, do that 40% off link. And that's sigmabeauty.com/Camille. And that'll get you 40% off until April 30th only. So I hope that helps. And I've enjoyed hanging out with you, getting ready. Thank you for saying that I am so pretty. I appreciate that. And ladies and gents, I'm going to go for now. So if you have any questions, definitely message me somehow, comment on one of the videos, and I will talk to you soon. All right. I love you guys. Mwah. Bye-bye. Well, I gotta have these on. I gotta have these on to figure out how to turn off my live. Okay, bye.